Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Caroga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember the 50 waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important news are new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Esri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to MomOPrey 5 channel. Hail Caroga.
Hello world, it's MomOPrey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Monday, May 10th, 2021. A very special, if sad, anniversary around the house. It was 12 years ago today that I took my last steps, indeed stood for the very last time so far in my life. I had been admitted to the hospital the previous day. I was up in my room. MomOPrey was there, as she was throughout the whole ordeal. And I was in a lot of pain. I'd been in a hospital bed for, oh my God, 12 to 20 hours. And it felt like forever. I don't remember exactly how long. It'd been probably like 12 to 15 hours. And I couldn't imagine laying in bed for 12 straight hours. It boggled my mind. So despite the incredible pain I was in, I asked the nurse to please help me get out of the bed and into, they had the big chair next to the bed as they do in hospitals. So the nurse put some linens on the chair and made it ready for me to be able to get into. And I, mostly under my own strength, I stood up and I slowly got into the chair. And I was in the chair maybe 2-3 seconds when the pain level went from like a 9 to like a 10 and then an 11. And well, what do you mean? Well, in the hospital, they ask you to rate your pain from 1 to 10, 1 being like a slap on the wrist and a 10 being the most incredible pain you could even consider, you could ever imagine. And, like kidney stone pain or being shot through the spleen type pain, or God knows, pain you don't even want to imagine, is a 10. So I would say I went from like an 8 or a 9. I was in some pretty serious pain. But when I sat up in that chair, I was seeing lights. It was another level type of pain. And I said immediately, my words immediately after sitting in this chair this was a bad idea. And maybe I was in the chair a minute, maybe 2 or 3. I'm not 100% sure. But then again, under my own power, I stood up and crawled and turned over back into the hospital bed, and never thinking in a million years that that would be the last time I might ever be able to do that. I was in pain, but it didn't occur to me that, I was looking at a life-changing situation. I was told at this point, the hospital said I had a mild case of pancreatitis. They would later change it to call it a severe case of pancreatitis, but I was told it was a mild case of pancreatitis. And knowing precisely one person in my life who had pancreatitis, it was like my best friend at the time's father. And he went into the hospital, spent a week or 9 days in the hospital. He came home and he was fine. He went back to work. He was absolutely fine. It was no worse for the wear, no long-term health consequences that I was aware of. I figured I was going to be in the hospital a week and I'd be home and back at work inside of 2 weeks. And, that was just going to be it. It didn't occur to me what I was looking at. And I guess it didn't occur, to be fair, it didn't yet occur to the doctors that this was going to be a possibility either. It was later that day when the doctors came and asked me that question, now that I wish I could have changed my answer, where they said, "Oh, you're going to be in a lot of pain," and I was. And they say, "Well, we can put you to sleep for 3 or 4 days, a few days, and the worst of the pain will be over." And I said, "Absolutely. I was just in so much pain." I said, "That sounded like a great idea. Anything that would stop the pain." Yeah, if they had said we could remove your balls and that would stop the pain, I probably would have said, "Go ahead, doc, remove my balls to stop the pain." But I would have said okay to just about anything. So I went to sleep, and then I didn't wake up, as you guys know the story, for months and months. And as I was out of it, I got hospital-borne infections. I got all types of things went wrong. Klebsiella, fungus infections. My tubes going into my mouth got pulled out. My trach got pulled out of my neck. My lung collapsed. Just terrible, terrible things. My organs shut down. I was put on dialysis, emergency dialysis, and they couldn't get any veins to work or arteries. They started sticking me in my legs with the bigger and bigger tubes, but they kept clogging because my triglycerides were so goddamn high, to the point they had these giant things in my legs. And that years later, when I had to go to get my legs checked for a blood clot, and the guy checked my legs with the ultrasound, he looked at me, he's like, "What happened to your legs? They don't look like," he's like, "your blood vessels are fastened." I thought Spock, to be honest, it kind of more reminded me of Dr. Culber, because I got that vibe from him. But the way he said it was Dr. Spock, like not Dr., Mr. Spock. Fascinating. He's like, "Your leg veins are just fascinating." He's like, "What happened to you?" Luckily I was asleep. I was in a coma throughout all of this dialysis stuff. Apparently my sister says there were friends volunteering to give me a kidney. Thankfully I didn't need it. My kidneys came back on their own after a couple weeks. To me, I was in Hawaii. I don't know if it was a dream going on the entire time, or just a dream that felt like it had been going on, or a near-death experience, but I was extremely content. I was very happy. I was with my family, my loved ones, and we were in We were living off a beach house in Hawaii. They told me, I knew I'd been sick. They told me, yeah, we sold your house. We don't have to worry about money anymore. And that was it. And we were all together. And that's what I remember, being very content. So I don't know if I died and went somewhere temporarily. If I did, was it heaven? Maybe. I mean, it wasn't pearly gates and clouds. I didn't speak to God, but I was very content. I was with my loved ones, both living and dead. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I did get to see a peek at the other side, and maybe it's not so bad. At least it wasn't for me at the time. I would hope I wouldn't change what would happen at this point, but you never know. The DNC donated $1. Apologies, the DNC. The DNC says, vote for us, and we will have others walk for you until no one does anything and the country is bankrupt, and we join the great nation of China as its colony. It is so scary right now that I keep hearing from people and seeing things on YouTube. The companies can't hire people because nobody wants to work. They don't want to work because they're getting paid more on unemployment than they would have got paid working, even if their working was for more than minimum wage. Even if it was $15 an hour, that's not enough. They need $25 an hour to break even. And even at that point, like, well, if I can make $20 an hour off unemployment, do I really need to work? It's scary. We are at a very scary tipping point in this country. And as somebody who can no longer, thank you, NB Geeks, let's talk. I'll get to that in 1 second. But as somebody who can no longer, and my whole life prior to me getting sick, I always considered as somebody who, if I needed to rely on myself, I could. I hated relying on others. I had my house full of, tools, full of things just in case something happens and the hardware store was closed. I had something for everything. Just in case. I was that kind of person. I hated relying on stores being opened, on other people. Just hated it. And now the biggest thing after I got sick is now I have to rely on people to do everything for me. And that's not the person I was born. It's very upsetting. And seeing this country in the shape it is, I am so scared because, if I hadn't gotten sick, to see the country where it is, I would be saying, well, shit, if the shit hits the fan, I'd be making bug out plans. I'd tell my family where we're going to meet and we'd all be okay. It would be shitty. We wouldn't have internet and we wouldn't have, we wouldn't have McDonald's, but we'd survive. But in my current condition, I know if society falls, I'm not going to make it because I'm not one who can live without society anymore. And that is depressing. NB Geeks Let's Talk donated $5. Thank you so much, NB Geeks. And says, let's do the politics on my stream. I'm all for it. Between you and me and LD push 1G, I think it overwhelmed Captain Track. Just saying for the future. Yeah, NB Geek. It was this morning on Captain Track stream. The politics got a little thick. And I want you guys to know, because I know none of you saw it because it was in private, but after Captain Trek ended his stream, After 10 or 15 minutes, I headed over to LDG's back room. It was just him and I. We spoke for another 20 or 30 minutes about the topic without yelling, just as two people would, speaking our minds. There were no hard feelings. Yes, I know I raised my voice. I know other people raised their voices. But believe me, there were no hard feelings from me. It's just, I like to argue, and voices go up when you argue. And I can understand that if you're not used to that, if you're not used to seeing me like that, that you might think, oh shit, he's really mad. And the truth is, I'm not really mad. I'm just really passionate. And I don't hate LDG or Captain Track for what happened this morning. And they don't hate me. Okay? Like literally 10 minutes later, I went to LDG's back room. We talked about a computer issue for a couple minutes. And then we talked about right where we picked up, where me and him stopped talking in Captain Track's room because he had to go. And it was 100% civil discussion. And we talked for 10 or 15 minutes. And we said what we had to say. And that was it. And time, we moved on. There was no hard feelings from either one of us. And I want anyone else who was watching that to understand that wasn't hatred, that wasn't anger, that was just passion on my side. And I assume passion on his side. I understand points he was trying to make. And yeah, I was being a bit of an asshole because I know LDG says to, answer what he means, not what he says. But obviously, how do you know what somebody means unless they say it? So I did push a few buttons, but that's just what you do when you're debating, when you're arguing. So believe me, there was no hard feelings this morning, and I hope nobody took anything away from that anymore. Because, like I said, we're totally fine. We spoke. It was like any other day. There's nothing else beyond that. But let's see. The first person in the chat today was Josh Street, and looking at the thumbnail, and he said, "Why did MomOPrey Photoshop his face onto some poor guy in a bed?" No, that is indeed a picture of me very soon after I came home. So that's actually 11 years ago, that picture. I went to the hospital in May 2009. I came home from the hospital in May 2010. So actually, I came home from the nursing home in May 2010. So that picture was probably taken a day or two after I got home from the nursing home. So that is an 11-year-old picture. I hadn't fully shaved yet. That is a May 2010 picture. I don't have a great picture before I went into the hospital. I mean, I have pictures from before I went into the hospital, but obviously I wasn't posing. It was just, there's pictures where I was on vacation, pictures where I was in my office, but I don't have any pictures of me being in the hospital bed from before this, all went down, because you don't think to take pictures when you're in the hospital and you first get there, and you only expect to be there a few days. You don't expect this to be changing your life. And then MomOPrey did take a number of pictures while I was in the hospital bed, while I was in the coma. But being camera phones were still new then, she did not know she had to save the photo after she took it. So all the photos she thought she took were gone. They were never saved, which is a shame, because I was told I had the bushiest mountain man-like beard full of red hair that you could imagine, and especially since my hair at the time was jet black. A little bit of gray, but 99% jet black on my head. My beard was mostly red hair. It was a weird situation. I wish I could have seen those pictures with this mountain man-like beard. Unfortunately today, even if I let my beard grow out, it's going to grow in white. My hair is coming in half white. I can't get what I used to have. Actor says, how handsome young Liam Neeson looks. Actor, really, Liam Neeson? I would never have put myself as looking at all like Liam Neeson, but thank you. Josh Reed says, go to www.birdoprey5.com/Dear Bop to get your Frank and Freddy questions answered. No. Todd Jenny says, well, by the time we have 90 to 120 minute head start to run. Yes, you had a couple hours by the time you wrote that. Josh Reed says, we have about 5 hours before sleeping. MomOPrey 5 wakes back up. You know, I was trying to take a nap, but I woke up, and instead I ended up at Positive Candor's channel, and we played a couple of games today of Wheel of Fortune on Positive Candor's channel. It was fun. Granted, it was a Wheel of Fortune from like 1990, and every person category they came up with was somebody I had no idea who they were. And most of the other people playing had no idea who they were. But MomOPrey knew who everyone was. That was interesting. Josh Reed says, before the stream comments are slowly coming today. Oh, wait, it's Monday. The before stream comments are slowly coming. Oh, wait, it's Monday, says Josh Reed. Agri says, I hate to waste effort, so I only comment near the stream start because Bird loses them. It's not me, it's YouTube, and sometimes they lose them, sometimes they don't. Actor says, also, it's siesta time, so see you later, alligator, and then puts in some Z's. Josh Reed says, no, Actor, don't pull a sleeping MomOPrey 5 on us. Life with Matthew says, is that Bird in the photo? Yes. Life with Matthew, that is me in the thumbnail photo. Josh Reed says, no Matthew, taser face, short shanks. That is a Photoshop that Yitza makes for Bird. No, it's not a Photoshop. Josh Reed says, it's late MomOPrey, running late again. Is late MomOPrey. Life with Matthew says, it's done well. It's not a Photoshop. Qapla Richie Poole. Richie Poole says, trendsetter, MomOPrey 5. Now I know who to blame for the crazy beard boy fad that has crippled the nation. That was 2011. You can't, wait, 2010. 2010. You can't blame me for that. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Qapla. Hail Caroga. Hail Caroga. Richie Poole says, Qapla, hail on Caroga. John Araki says, stuck in bed for 12 years. Bird is reviewing Jenna Jameson's autobiography today. I am not. Richie Poole lols. Darth Maul says, Sebastian Stan looks more like Tommy than that actress who's playing Pam Anderson. I have no idea what that's about. Positive Candor says, it's official, MomOPrey hates people and person on the Wheel of Fortune game. It's true. I hate those categories. Space kissing her, Qapla says, already 47 seconds late, like I was selling Dogi. You were 47 seconds late. Josh Reed says, hashtag birds watching Crystal Skull and emoji. Thomas Potts says, MomOPrey looks like a serial killer in that photo. Moxley fan 21, Qapla Moxley, says, MomOPrey, Qapla Bird, hope you and the family are doing well today. Well, I'm doing well, Moxley. It's a It's a tough day for MomOPrey when she thinks back. And Moxley says hello to you all. Life with Matthew says howdy. Moxley says hello to Life with Matthew. 47 Yorktown says hello, young sir. Qapla. 47 Yorktown. Vincent Gallipo says Qapla. Qapla, Vincent Gallipo. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. T-Berg, Sci-Fi Tech, says, I am here. Let the Klingon pain ritual begin. No pain sticks today. John DeMarco says, greetings all. Greetings, John. Moxley fan says, we, the people. Absolutely. Project Storytime says, hail, Bird. Hail to you. Project Storytime. Bradley Briggs says, that's not a flattering photo of you. Holy shirt. Yeah, I know it's not a flattering photo, Bradley. It's just supposed to be a real photo. Jedi Bill 797 Qapla Jedi Bill says, hello, MomOPrey, Qapla, brother, warrior. Hail, Caroga. Hail to you, Jedi Bill. This is, what is it, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 2 days. 2 days after Jedi Bill did his epic stream of eating bugs and hot sauces and scorpions and mealworms and God knows what else he ate. I hope you're doing well, Jedi Bill. I'm glad you're here. Captain Trek says hello, Qapla, Captain. Dee Dee Myers says, Qapla, how are you and the family? Well played game on Positive Channel. Qapla and long live Caroga. Thank you so much, the Catman, a.k.a. Dee Dee Myers. Bradley Biggs says, you look better now than then you do in that photo. Well, it's debatable, Bradley, but thank you. Dee Dee Myers says, Jedi Bill, Captain, and good afternoon. Life with MomOPrey, have you been able to do physical therapy in this past year with COVID? No, I do hope to get back to physical therapy in 2 weeks. On May 19th, I get my second COVID shot. And then a couple of weeks after that, I'd be considered fully vaccinated. So maybe sometime in June or July, we can start physical therapy again. And I would really like to see what happens after a few months of physical therapy, how quickly I can come back to where I was pre-COVID. I really hope that it won't be that big a deal, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Captain Track says hello to Dee Dee Myers. Dee Dee says to Project Storytime, good afternoon, and also to Life with Matthew. Deej Odyssey, Qapla Deej says, hail, Bird, hail, chat, hail, MomOPrey. Thank you, Deej. Space Kissinger says, having had kidney stones and my average day being a 6, I know that pain. I'm sure you do, Space Kissinger. Okay, MomOPrey. No, I wasn't talking to you. Jedi Bill says hello to Dee Dee Myers and good afternoon, brother Qapla, brother warrior, hail Caroga. Robert Green is hailing to Deej and Caroga. Thomas Potts is saying hello to Jedi Bill and Deej. Jedi Bill says hello to 47 Yorktown. John Street says hey to Jedi Bill. No, he did not make Fi's goal of $5,000 so he can watch the sparkly vampire torture stream. Bradley Briggs says that one question changed your life a lot. It did. It did, Bradley. I didn't expect it would, but you never know. Star Trek Nitpicker says, thank God you pulled through, Bird. Qapla. Star Trek Nitpickers, and thank you. Yes, for MomOPrey's sake and DadOPrey's sake at the time and SisOPrey's sake, I'm happy I pulled through. Because I would feel awful, God forbid something had happened to me. MomOPrey has had enough enough people die on her in her life. Her parents, a brother, and a sister. And other people in her life have passed away too. And, she was always afraid she was going to lose a child. And I could not let that happen to her. Bradley Briggs says, the hospital you were in sounds like they just did a fantastic job, worthy of being sued into the ground for malpractice. Well, at the time, I thought they would be liable, but due to some fancy smancering lawyering of the hospital and the fact that New York State limits you to 2 years after the fact, after you go more than 2 years, you can't sue. They kind of got out of it. They got out of it. There's nothing we could do. We tried, but it was too little, too late. So I ended up with a lot of hospital bills. Thomas Potts says T-Berg Sci-Fi Tech is a magical place. Thomas says T-Berg, it's a magical place. T-Berg says howdy to Mr. Potts. Jedi B says no, Josh Street. I am $195 short of my goal and 85 subscribers short. If I can get 195 more, I will eat the gummy bear. So 100. I heard you made a $404. So $600 is where you eat the gummy bear. So, yeah. Darth Maul says, MomOPrey 5. We used to put ads out to hire and get like 20 replies a week. We put it out. Now we need a guy to replace a man who sadly passed away from a stroke, and we ain't found shit. I heard that there were McDonald's places offering $50 just for people to come to an interview. That they are so hard to find workers in some places that the McDonald's would pay you $50 just to show up for the interview, to interview you for a job, which is ridiculous. Now, the capitalist in me says, well, if you can't get anybody at $10 an hour, you got to raise your price to $20 an hour, then do it. And if the cost of a cheeseburger goes from $2.50 to $5 because of it, that's how much the cheeseburger should cost then. The problem is the government is physically intervening and sending money to people, allowing them to sit on their ass when there are open jobs. So it's not really a fair system right now. But I get it. And that's why I say I'm scared for the country, because there is no great answer. Josh Reed says, so if that turns out to be true, MomOPrey, then you could compare notes with Spock, unlike how Spock didn't with Bones. That's true. We do have a common frame of reference. Deej Odyssey says, Bird will make it. We will rebuild around you. Thank you, Deej. Life with Matthew says, howdy to Deej. NB Geek says, MomOPrey, I only got loud. I was like LDG. You are not letting the other person talk. That's how we do shit. Oh, I didn't mean to shut people down, but sometimes it just happens. Thomas is T-Berg. Are there red boxes around your weapons in Space Engineers? I haven't been in Space Engineers in weeks. Mike Richards says, greetings to Deej. Thomas Potts says, Life with Matthew. I'm 100% sure this week is SpongeBob movie. I don't know to whom he's referring. I'm certainly not watching the SpongeBob movie. The next cinema Saturday is The Cat from Outer Space. Bradley Briggs says, if you can't argue with someone and remain friends, then you were never friends to begin with. I could see that. T-Berg says, Bird of Prey, you are a real true conservative. You can have practical debate without launching emotional nuclear missiles. Well, I don't know if that's the definition of a conservative, but I'll take that. T-Berg says we should use your sweat like holy water to exercise the Republican Party. Maybe let's not go that far. Liber Matthews says, Thomas, I've got reservations about the veracity of that comment. Yeah. Thomas is like with Matthew, you're calling me a liar. Wow. Piano Dean, Qapla Piano Dean says, Bird of Prey, I'm sure you've mentioned this before, but I'm assuming you are basically not aware of the passage of time. Yes and no. I wasn't aware of the overall passage of time, but on some stuff that happened day to day, I was like this was when I was starting to wake up, but I hadn't become fully conscious. There was like this day where everything sort of felt like a dream, and I would hear parts of conversation and I would build something around it. So I think I heard them saying they were going to maybe change my bed or something one day. And in my head, I fully remember them pushing my bed down a hallway, down a elevator, into the basement of the hospital, where there was like an engineer shop, and some guy who worked in the basement replaced the bed replaced under the mattress of the bed with a pane of glass, like a window of glass. And he said, remember to tell people you've got glass under you or it's going to break. And I was, okay. And so every time I went back to the room, I was trying to tell MomOPrey and DadOPrey, whoever was there, that there's glass under me. And I couldn't really speak. I couldn't really do anything. And nobody understood what the hell was going on. And SysOPrey, actually understanding what was going on, finally said, it's okay. They changed the glass out while you were asleep. I was like, oh, they did? And she's like, yeah, they did. There's no more glass. It's gone. And that was it. That was what she needed to tell me to make me feel better, because I was 100% convinced that there was a sheet of glass under me and it was going to break and then rip into me if they didn't change it. So she lied, obviously, but she knew that my brain had processed something wrong, and the only way I was going to feel better was to lie back. And it did, and it worked. And she was the only one there who even thought of going down that road. So I got lucky in that respect. Then there was a night. So one of the things they would do was every night they would have to debride the wound. And they would turn me over. And this all happened in the ICU. Apparently my bed never really moved. They just came to my bed. They turned me on my side. They debrided the wound. I was screaming in pain, but because I had tubes down my throat, I had no voice. They couldn't hear I was screaming. And because the morphine had become ineffective. They'd shoot me with morphine, but then I would feel everything, and I couldn't scream. And MomOPrey could see my face, and she would tell them I was screaming, and they were like, I don't hear anything or whatever. And then they'd throw me back and whatever, and they would leave. Now, in my brain, whatever was happened, they had pulled me out of my room, taken me somewhere else where they were doing this debriding. God knows what they were doing. And then they would take me back and they would put me on a line. And there'd be like 6 or 7 hospital beds ahead of me. And like after those other hospital beds left, then I would finally go back to the room. Like every day I would go to hospital bed, there was a line of hospital beds until I got to use the room. I don't know where those came from or why that was like that, but MomOPrey says she knows why.
Was to do a CAT scan.
Right. They took me out of the room to do a CAT scan.
Basically, after the CAT scan, they would move you into a hallway.
And after the CAT scan, they moved me into a hallway. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, this was repeating, like, day after day for me. I'm saying, but to me, it was. And then this one time, like, they pushed me into the room. Like, it felt like hours had gone by before it was my turn to get back into the room. And, like, the MomOPrey and SisOPrey had decorated the room with, like, cards and stuff. Get well cards and things. Now, I remember in my head seeing what looked like, a professional, like a professional decorating service or something. Like, I was like, oh my God, I was so happy. I was like, wow, I can't believe they did this all for me. And I remember seeing like these giant printed banners and stuff. And none of it made any sense. But I was like, oh, wow. In hindsight, all they were little cards and little pictures. And SisOPrey made something out of my own Legos that had my name on it. Hung it on the wall. But to me, it was like an extravagant hospital room upgrade. And I don't know why, but every day I felt like I was taken out of the hospital room and I'd have to be put online until I got back into it. So no, I really didn't know how much time was passing. But I knew time had been passing. And like the Hawaii thing, when I was in Hawaii, like I knew I'd been sick. I knew I'd been in the hospital. And like for some reason I wasn't in the hospital anymore. But I didn't know if it was days or weeks or months at that point. Time had a completely different meaning. I do. I remember my birthday. By my birthday, I was back to remembering day-to-day stuff. Now I'm talking what was going on like August, September type things. Live with Matthew says, Thomas Potts, I would never. Deej says, hey to Mike Richards. Brandon Wolf says, sucks getting older unless you want to brush out the salt. Yeah, well, I don't. Dave G says first. Well, Dave G sound, I don't think you were first. Brandon Wolf, Qapla, Brandon. Deej says, hail on Caroga. Purple Valkyrie, Qapla, Purple Valkyrie. Says, sending love to you, BirdoPrey and MomOPrey. Thank you so much, Purple Valkyrie. It means a lot. Deed says, I'm streaming later after Bird and have a special video just for BirdoPrey 5 and Anti-Tracker with a mischievous face. Wow. Okay. So after me, check out Deej's special video. Brandon says, hail all, and hail the wrenches. Thank you. Project Storytime says hello to Purple Valkyrie and asks how she is today. The Truth Apocalypse, Qapla, says 2. I don't know why. Mako says, hail Caroga, hail Bird, Qapla, Mako. Mike Richards says, Deej Rutro. The Truth Apocalypse says, 12. 12 years too long, indeed. Bez says, hail Caroga, hail to you, Bez, Qapla. Purple Valkyrie says, hello and love to Project Storytime. Deej says, yeah, it's a Rutro, Mike. The Truth Apocalypse says, hey, turds and nerds, epic. Deej says, Mike Richards, Captain Foley is part of the clip also, laughing his ass off. The Truth Apocalypse says, hey to Deej. Jedi Bill says, hello to Purple Valkyrie and good extreme late night. Mike Richards is laughing with a thumbs up. Thomas Potts says, Bird of Prey, how many more weeks to get shot 2? May 19th. 9 days. So that'd be 4 weeks since the first shot. I got my first around the same time you did, but I'm getting the second on Wednesday. So you probably got Pfizer, which is 3 weeks between the shots. Moderna is 4 weeks. Deej says, hey to the Truth Apocalypse. Truth Apocalypse says, Potts and to Jedi Bill. Positive Candor says, did MomOPrey do anything special yesterday for Mother's Day? She got some much needed rest. Did you do anything else, MomOPrey?
You're so happy that I woke up and I was surrounded by my family.
Oh, she said she was so happy. She woke up yesterday morning surrounded by her family, both her children and her grandson. Yes. And sassy. And sassy. Yes, we were all here yesterday for MomOPrey. And MomOPrey's got some flowers.
And Godiva.
And Godivas, yes. Positive Candor says, yes, so he was happy. Purple Valkyrie says, good evening to Jedi Bill. Jedi Bill says, hello to Project Storytime. The Truth Apocalypse says, good show to Positive Candor. And T-Berg says, I think Charlie is also thankful. I'm sure he is. The Truth Apocalypse is okay. No, it's Canadian. No ifs. It's no ifs a Canadian. I think there's a typo there. 47 Yorktown says hello to Jedi Bill and happy to see you're still alive. Yes, we're all happy to see Jedi Bill. And Jedi Bill says, yes, 47 Yorktown, I am still alive. The Nerdporial Life Form, Qapla, says Qapla, Bird of Prey, Qapla to you. Brandon Wolf says, yeah, trying to get people to work is damn near impossible right now, even in a place like Idaho. This is some tough stuff. Bradley Briggs says $5 just to show up and then tell them I don't want to work yet. I mean, like, honestly, what do you expect is going to happen? And it was like, yeah, I'll go on an interview for $50, but I'm not going to take the job. The Truth Apocalypse as well now. We know what rant is about. Carlo Albanese, Qapla Carlo, says, hi, hope everyone's as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. I hope you are well. And hail Caroga, indeed. Deej says, I read Montana, and soon South Carolina is cutting off unemployment to get people to go to work at the jobs that aren't being filled. I hate to sound cold-hearted, but I think it might be time. T-Berg says, get them all building your roads and bridges and such. It worked 100 years ago. The Nerdporial Lifeform says, Qapla to the Truth Apocalypse, Jedi Bill, 47 Yorktown, Brandon Wolf, T-Berg, Sci-Fi Tech, Purple Valkyrie, Mike Richards, Positive Candor, Deej Odyssey, Project Storytime, and Piano Dean. Nerdporial Life Forms as I made my milestone at 100 subs. Bird of Prey Qapla. Congratulations on 100 subs to the Nerdporial Life Form. Deej is saying, hey. Purple Valkyrie says hello there to Nerdporial. Deej says hi to Carlo. Mike Richards says hi to Nerdporial. Brandon Wolf says Qapla and all Qapla wrenches. The Truth Apocalypse says, what is a space engineer? Space Engineers is a game like Minecraft, but in space. Brandon Wolf says, I love that movie. What do we got? Jedi Bill says hello to Nordporial and to Carlo Albanese. Hail Caroga. Truth Apocalypse says, wait, holy supernova. Carlo says hi to Deej and to Jedi Bill. LDG of Geeks Enjoy. Waves. Qapla LDG. Nerdporial Lifeform says hail to Carlo Albanese and LDG. Truth Apocalypse says the original story is on the channel top. The original story is on the channel top. And the Truth Apocalypse is AT the Poop Head. Yes, that anti-tracker. Jedi Bill says hello to Geeks Enjoy Nerdrotica. The Truth Apocalypse and Carlo Albanese both say hi to MomOPrey when Carlo gives you a hug. The Truth Apocalypse is Sis, Baby, and Sassy Girl, my birthday buddy. Yeah, poor Sassy. We missed Sassy's birthday on May 1st. Carlo Albanese says, MomOPrey always seems surprised when he sees my name, but I feel like I'm here all the time. Like furniture. Carlo, it's just good to see you here. I know you're here quite often. The Truth Apocalypse is Piano Man, back to work. And the Truth Apocalypse is lol, he said it. I don't know exactly what I said, but LDG, since you're here now, just so you know, I told people at the beginning of the stream, those who might have been concerned of what they witnessed this morning on Captain Track's stream, that there was just us being passionate about our position, not angry, and that 10 or 15 minutes after Captain Track's stream ended, I went to your back room, backstage area, and we spoke. It was just me and you, and we spoke about computer stuff, and we spoke about the politics and the corona stuff for a while, and everything is fine. There's no hard feelings, there's no anything. That's just the way we get when we get passionate. Okay. So 12 years ago, and a day, I was out with my friends. I'm told, now I forgot, but I'm told by one of my friends that we had gone to Chili's and got take home from Chili's, and we ate it at my friend's house the night before I went into the hospital. And he felt a little bad that maybe the Chili's had been part of what made me sick and ended up in the hospital. I highly doubt it. The height of my triglycerides couldn't be achieved simply by eating bad foods. Regardless of what I had for dinner that night, I'm sure there was no way I was avoiding the hospital. In fact, I'd been having the pain in the abdomen for days, for weeks even. It wasn't that it just started out of nowhere. It had started a couple of weeks earlier, and at first I thought it might have been kidney stones, because I had a history of kidney stones. Like even by this time, I had passed 3 or 4 kidney stones. So I went to my urologist, and he did a sonogram or an ultrasound, and he looked and he said, I don't think they're kidney stones. I don't see any stones. So then I went to my chiropractor, and he did he did his stuff, and he gave me some muscle relaxers, and I did what usually helped my back pain, because maybe it's just regular back pain, and those didn't help either. So it was days, and it was getting worse and worse, And I called my primary care doctor and said, I don't know what's going on. And he's the one who finally said, well, I know you have high triglycerides. Pancreatitis is always a possibility with high triglycerides. You should probably go to the emergency room and have them check for pancreatitis, which is what sent me to the emergency room that day. Anyway, and it's a good thing I went because it went from bad to worse very quickly. So if I hadn't gone that day, the next day, I would have certainly had just been there in an ambulance. But luckily, being the doctor had already made the call to check for pancreatitis, it was the first thing they did, and it came back as, oh yeah, it's definitely pancreatitis. So that's how it began. And then, so it was 7.5 months in the ICU. And nobody's supposed to spend 7.5 months in ICU. You're not supposed to spend a month in ICU. In fact, the longer you stay in ICU, the better the chance of you having a problem like I had. Critical illness, neuropathy, being on a ventilator for as long as I was. They had literally a tube because I had a hole in my throat that got ripped bigger when the tube came pulled out of my throat. And then when they removed it, they literally had a valve and they put a metal cap on a valve that was in my throat. And God knows, I don't know how they did this, but there was this metal cap and they turned it like I was a cyborg. And when they turned it, then I could talk a little bit. But then I found I was able to find a way to talk without that cap on. And they were shocked. They were amazed. They said they didn't think I'd ever speak if the cap wasn't on. And they were making this big deal about relearning to breathe. And they were trying to get me to breathe on my own, but they wanted to leave this thing in me because if they took it out, it was going to be a problem. And I was having real problems trying to relearn to breathe with this thing going down my neck. I don't know. Finally, some nurse or somebody just made the call to just pull it out of me. Dr. Mayo. Okay, so the head of the doctor. And finally, once he did, I could breathe again. I for whatever reason, luckily, I didn't need to go through the rebreathing learning. I was perfectly fine to breathe once they pulled this contraption out of me. They had the respirator next to me. They were charging us $3,000 a day to keep the respirator next to the bed, even though I wasn't using it, just in case. In the middle of the night, one night, MomOPrey just rolled it out into the hallway. Because there was very little room in our little cubby hole anyway. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't realize that we were being charged at the time. She just wanted out of there. They have what's called an ice blanket because I had a fever. I had a fever hit 106 a few times. And the fever went on for months. 5.5 months of fever every day. Every day of fever. Now, it wasn't 106 for 5.5 months, but it was a fever for 5.5 months. A few times it got as high as 106. They gave me what's called an ice blanket, which I thought was the greatest thing ever because I like cold. And it was a blanket that had basically a refrigeration system running through it. Now, the bad part was with any refrigerator, there's a part where the hot air has to be pumped out. So the hot air was being pumped out into the rest of the ICU. But for me, it kept me nice and cool. And I hated giving that piece of technology up when the fever finally broke. I wanted to keep the ice blanket. But no, I couldn't keep the ice blanket. I missed the ice blanket. Oh, if you get me an ice blanket, then I could keep the house warmer. MomOPrey walks around freezing cold. Now, granted, I keep the house at 70, 71, 72, 73 degrees. She's still so cold. MomOPrey needs like 90-degree heat to be warm. She can't, always needed it. She can't, even at 80, she still gets chilly. But when we first got our pool put in the house, we put in a heater. And like MomOPrey would turn the heater on, even in the middle of the summer. That the pool water was like 110 degrees. Okay, 98 degrees. She never made it higher than 98. But it would be 95 degrees out, and the pool would be 98 degrees. Let me tell you, it felt like you were taking a hot bath. Especially before she realized how much heat, how much gas that thing took. Before we got the first gas bill after putting the heater in. And DadOPrey would go in the pool and take the hose so that it would add cold water. Let's see. Darius, Qapla, Darius. Good to see you. Moxley fans says, my late grandfather was a chiropractor. Good. Orville Nation, Qapla, Orville Nation. Good to see you, PJ. Bird is an ice man, says the Truth Apocalypse. Oh, closer to an ice man than a heat man. And Bradley Briggs says, invest in a hot tub. There's no place for a hot tub here. Let's see. What are the other crazy? Okay. So understand my family was desperate. They were desperate. The doctors said that by all rights, I should have been dead already. They had never seen people go through what I had been through. They said at this point, everybody who they've ever treated with this condition has either recovered or died. They were in unexplored territory. So my parents were absolutely desperate for some way of saving me. They went to other hospitals, but after my trach got pulled out because it got caught on the hospital bed railing, they refused to move me because I had what they said was an unstable airway. So I couldn't even be moved to a better hospital. But one of my friends who deals in the woo-woo a little bit more than your average person, a little mysticism, told MomOPrey and SisOPrey, who told MomOPrey about a guy he or his family used when one of their loved ones had cancer. And this guy could supposedly heal the sick from a distance or in person for extra money. So they used him at first from a distance, and that after they used him to heal me using spirits or whatever he uses, or Reiki, whatever he used, that was the day my fever broke. Was that it? Yeah, that was the day my fever finally broke. And I started getting noticeably better. To the point that we're like, wow. So fast forward a few weeks or months later, I was awake. I was conscious. I was still not moving, but I could, I knew what was going on. I think I could talk a little. And so they scheduled a second session with this guy for midnight. And I could have been asleep, but I had to be open to receiving. I either had to be asleep or open to receiving his quote unquote signals. So MomOPrey was with me at midnight, and precisely at midnight, I was laying in the bed with my mind open as it could be. And right above my bed was a hardwired but dim light, fluorescent light that never shut off because it was ICU lighting. That light never shut off. There were other lights that shut off at night, but that light was on 24/7. And we were there for months. For months, that light never changed. But precisely at midnight, when he said he was starting, the one and only time, that light blinked twice. I to the point that it shocked me. That I was in awe, and my sister was in awe that light actually flickered. To this day, I have no way of explaining why it did, but whatever. Did it do anything at that point? I honestly don't know. I was kind of already getting better. I didn't notice any increase or anything. There was no, I can't say, all of a sudden I could move my arms or something after that. But the light did flicker, so I don't know if it was legit or not. And then months later, when I was in the nursing home, and it was clear that I wasn't going to be able to walk out of the nursing home, we actually paid him to come in person and perform his whatever right at the bedside. And he was a very positive person. It kind of felt like he was trying to, what's that thing? Hypnotize me. And I wanted it to work, believe me. But it didn't. If it did, I don't know. There was nothing I could point to and say, okay, that improved or that got better. So I don't know. We were 1 for 3 in actually getting better, 2 for 3 in that the light actually flickered at the time he said he was going to be starting his session. But the in-person session was a bust. Now, could it be that by this point my brain had turned back on and I wasn't believing that this stuff was possible? I suppose, but that's a very convenient problem. It's a very convenient, well, you didn't believe it, so it's not going to work kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying it's freaky. It's freaky. Do you remember his name? Zeb. Zeb. I don't know. I don't know if the guy's still alive. He was, he's probably alive, but he was up there. So Zev, I think. Zev or Zeb. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If you ever have somebody in a life or death situation, you might want to try him. But if the person's already awake and conscious, it's probably not going to help. Bradley says, I don't think the place you went is worthy of being called a hospital. Oh, unfortunately, it is one of the better hospitals. T-Berg says, is it Alan Quartermain? No. Chronos says, hello world, it's MomOPrey 5, Qapla. The Truth Apocalypse is interesting. Chronos says, Bird of Prey, I'm mostly listening to you. Thank you, Chronos. T-Berg is into woo-woo too. Yeah. No, it's not Groot. Yes, we paid the bill. T-Berg says, otherwise the woo-woo doctor is going to shrink your head. Hello, nurse, says Kronos. Oh my God. Some of the I don't know. The stereotype of the young, attractive nurse, none. Did not exist. Did not exist in this hospital. There were, MomOPrey said, there were a couple of good-looking female doctors, and a physical therapist I was quite fond of. But actual nurses, no, did not exist. In fact, some of the best nurses I had were guys. Anyway. Yeah, Kronos, no hello, nurse. Some of the nurses were wonderful people. MomOPrey hated with a passion a couple of them. There were some nurses that just flat out lied. They lied to your face. They lied on paper. They lied about what time they gave me my medication. And it was habitual. Like they just become so used to lying, they didn't even care. It was just their normal routine was to lie what time they gave the people their medications so that they didn't have a bad rating. Like, well, why didn't they get their medication till 2 hours late? Or like, well, they can just write in the book that they gave them the medication on time and then just give them the medication at a later time. So like literally the doctor would come by and MomOPrey would say, look, he just got his medication and he's having a reaction. And the doctor would look at the paperwork and said, no, he got his pill 2 hours ago. This isn't related. And MomOPrey is like, no, I just saw the nurse give him that pill. I don't care what she wrote on there. She just gave him that pill. And the doctor wouldn't believe because the doctor's, is going to trust the paperwork. So that's the kind of shady shit that some of those nurses would do. And frankly, too many. It wasn't one. It was more than one. And I tell you, even if it was one would have been too many. But it was more than one. On the other hand, there were some that went above and beyond. And I don't want to throw them all under the bus. But there are a lot of people, like there are a lot of people who shouldn't be teachers. There are a lot of people who shouldn't be nurses. They just don't have the heart for it. And that's one of the things that scares me the most. If I ever have to go to the hospital, is if you get an asshole nurse, they will be vindictive to you. My MomOPrey says one of them would purposely wake me up playing, like slamming drums on a garbage can. So MomOPrey remembers her name and her face. Anyway, this is technically a Long Island hospital, Thomas, not in the 5 boroughs. But you know, the only reason I ended up at this hospital, I didn't know the name of any specific hospital in the area, but one of Dad O'Prey's friends told me that, oh, if anything ever happens to him, he wants to go to this hospital because it's supposedly the best hospital in the area. So I just remembered it in the back of my head. So when I was like, well, what hospital should we go to? I was like, oh, I guess we should go to, Long Island LIJ because so-and-so said it was the best hospital in the area. Did so-and-so do any research? I have no effing idea. I never asked. I could have picked any other hospital. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe I would have got better. Maybe I would have died. But it's very unlikely that the same thing would have happened had I gone anywhere else. Because a lot of what happened was unique to that hospital. I don't know. And like I talked about when I was doing the thing about if you could talk to yourself in the past, what would you say to yourself? I don't know. I don't know what I would say, because I would try to say, listen, give myself years' notice to prevent it from ever happening to begin with. But if I could go back with just a day or two's notice, I'm not sure what I would say. Because, if we try a different hospital, who's to say it doesn't go worse? I honestly don't know. I don't know. Yeah, MomOPrey, you can always speak.
I believe.
MomOPrey is saying she believes I went in with pancreatitis.
But in that 24 hours, you were in the emergency room that you caught the swine flu.
She thinks I caught the swine flu while I was. The swine flu, yeah. When this was happening, the swine flu was going everywhere. That's the same time I ended up in the hospital. So it's very possible I could have caught the swine flu on top of everything else.
Within a couple of days being in the hospital.
Right. Yeah, that would explain why the temperature went so high. I had a fever. Yeah, the first blood work was clean except for the triglycerides. So they knew I went in without anything in me. But once I was there, I started getting a whole bunch of illnesses. But anyway, guys, let's move on to Dear Bop. Maybe we'll have some happier times with Dear Bop. And why is Dear Bop not showing? Son of a bitch. There we go. Carlo Albanese is Bird of Prey, and now you are a god. I'm glad that you are here for us, and thank you, Carlo. Okay. Dear Bop, do you like pie? What is your favorite pie? If you could have pie right now, would you? Thank you, pie lover. Not really. I'm not really a pie person. I guess apple pie is my favorite. No, honestly, I don't particularly feel like pie right now. Now, if this is a question from Revenge of the Nerds, that's different. But actual pie, nah, I pass. Dear Bop, why do you love Donald Trump so much? He used to visit Epstein's ranch, cheated on his wife, lied about election results, a racist and all-around a-hole. Are you two peas in a pod? Signed, a concerned Caroga citizen. Okay, let's see. Where do we start? He didn't visit Epstein's ranch. In fact, as soon as he found out what type of person Epstein was, he banned Epstein from his properties. That's fact. He cheated on his wife. Yes, he did. He cheated on his wife. Now, I don't know what type of relationship he and his wife had. I don't know. I don't really care. But if you're a billionaire, it is quite possible that you and your wife have some type of agreement where you can see other people. It's not my business. It's between him and his wife. Aravik Sonder with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Aravik Sonder. And he wasn't doing these things in the Oval Office, right? And he wasn't lying about it under oath. So not really an issue. Lied about election results. I disagree. I don't think he lied. Is a racist. I disagree. I think he's the most anti-racist candidate that ran. In fact, he got honored by the Rainbow Coalition. In the 80s, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and people, they were singing his praises. He gave money to causes to help minorities like crazy. Now, did he have this policy of not wanting to rent to black people? Yes, he did. You know why? Because in the 1980s in New York, if you had a building with a black person in it, all the white people would move out. And it's the same thing on neighborhoods. If a black person moved into the neighborhood, all the white people would move out of the neighborhood. Was it nice? Was it right? No, but it was the way the system was. It was the way reality was. I don't like it, but that's the way it was. So do I blame him? No, I don't blame him. That's the way things were. Yeah, you gotta blame the real estate. Like literally, when MomOPrey and DadOPrey bought their house, their first house, it was an area where the real estate people weren't bringing her by. They knew this house was for sale, but nobody was showing it to her. So she said, "Why aren't you showing me this house?" And the guy's like, "Oh, this area has only got maybe 10 years left in it. You don't want to buy here." She's like, "No, I do. I want to buy that house." And she had to fight with him to buy the house. And a few years later, they had known that neighborhood was going to be the next neighborhood that was going to, quote unquote, be turned black. And sure enough, it was. Because the real estates were not letting white people even look at houses. They wouldn't bring white people to look at houses. They would only bring black people to look at houses in that neighborhood. So they knew what they were doing. And they knew the more black people they brought in, the more white people were going to sell. And that's the way it was. And it was bullshit. It was illegal, but nobody could stop it. You can't stop it. The Random Menace is greetings from the future with a €2 super chat. Greetings, Random Menace. So is Donald Trump racist? He's absolutely not racist. Is he a realist? Yes, he is. Was it racist? Was all of New York City racist? Were the policies racist? What was the neighborhoods racist? Was blockbusting racist? Yes. Yes, the policies were racist. It was a racist city. Shit happened. But today, is he racist? No, he's not racist at all. And I don't agree that he's an asshole, although I agree he might be an asshole to people who don't like him, which is fine with me. That's just some... I like the fact that he trolls the people who attack him. I think they deserve it. Are we peas in a pod? I wish I was as rich. I wish I was as rich as him. Dear Bop, I'm a 32-year-old male. I have dark brown hair but found a light-colored hair. What should I do? Nothing. Nothing. You'll probably find more. Life happens. Dear Bop, fat. Okay. Is there a question? Dear Bop, big boy. Okay. Dear Bop, hi Joe. I'm allowed to break the silence now and come forward as Nephew O'Prey's sperm donor. I assigned a waiver that said that I wasn't legally able to discuss the donation, but am now allowed to speak. I wanted to give you some indication of what I expect in terms of the little guy's physical attributes. I'm 6 foot 6 inches and have been in some movies you might have seen, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I was also in Stuber and My Spy and have a part in the upcoming Dune film. Anyway, that part is not important. I just wanted to see if you would be okay to hang out with you guys now that you know I am Nephew O'Prey's father. And please tell Sis O'Prey that I can make more kids free of charge if she's interested. Don't you still need a niece O'Prey? I've got a couple of weeks in before production starts on Guardian of the Galaxy 3 in Toronto, so I thought I could pop by and say hello. Once we get rolling with the film, I will bring you up to the studio and maybe could get you in on one of the scenes. And for a huge bonus, I can introduce you to Zoe Salanda. Sound good? It better be, or I'll crush you like an empty can. Love you, brother-in-law, Dave Bautista. I have no idea who Dave Bautista is. I have no picture to go in my head with this guy's name. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are movies I have not seen. I tried to watch, but they looked ridiculously stupid. Also, we know the donut is not 6 foot 6. So this is Dave. I'm gonna have to pass, Dave. I really don't have any interest in Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you were the donor, that's very sweet of you to know. We'll pass. Dear Bop, I really wish there was one person that we could trade places with you. If I could suggest, it would be the anal... No, bad soft putty. Moxley fan says Batista was a pro wrestler. And Colonel says you didn't watch Guardians unsubbing. Thomas is banned bird. I tried to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, but I couldn't get past the stupidity of a tree and a fox, and what bullshit is that? I'm sorry. I thought, anyway. Dear Bop, why couldn't it have been Thor or Iron Man? Dear Bop, hi Bird, your good friend and confident Hunter checking in. I had to lay a little lower these days, as that darn laptop is causing me all kinds of issues. Who would have thunk that some fun videos and emails from my dad would get me in such big trouble, but that is life in the big leagues these days. Anyway, let me get to my point. I have another laptop that has even spicier stuff, and I need to hide it somewhere. This is a laptop that nobody else needs to know about, and has videos of me with several high-level ladies like Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I was lucky to get together with her, and Ilhan Omar. And wow, she is one crazy lady. Who would have thunk that as she had her little man in a boat remote?
Person.
So you are good with covering for me and my best friend. I will make it worth your while. Maybe a night out on me at Rick's Cabaret or Rivera Men's Club, as that establishment is closer to your house. Just let me know, Chief, and see you soon. It's been too long, Hunter B. Yeah, Hunter, just bring over the laptop. I'll take good care of it. I wouldn't think of making a copy of your disk and releasing it on the dark web. It's totally safe with me. I mean, you know it's safe because if I gave it to the FBI, they would just destroy it anyway. They wouldn't do anything with it. So who could I give it to? Moxley fans, is Guardians of the Galaxy is a great movie. You check it out. I tried, Moxley. It's just not for me. It's just not for me, Moxley. Dear Bop, what's the difference between Steve Shives and Rock Solid? People only dislike Shives. There are others in the No. This is bad. This is a bad email. I'm deleting it. Dear Bop, hello, Sir Bird of Caroga. It is great to reach you. I heard you saying in the live stream that you are not going to show SpongeBob movie this weekend. That is true. I'm not going to show SpongeBob. I must say you're really missing out on an entertaining film, and it will be your loss. I have talked to Deej, and he said he will show the movie this week, as he has several copies. But that is not the reason I'm messaging you. I'm a big fan of yours and want to invite you to our Broadway show. Now we are starting to open the Great White Way slowly. So I'd officially like to offer you, MomOPrey, front row seats for the SpongeBob musical, as there is plenty of room for a wheelchair for you and a booster seat next to you for the little dude. You guys are going to love this presentation as SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy attempt to stop an erupting volcano from destroying Bikini Bottom. Meanwhile, Plankton sees this as his time to strike. It is such a great time, and you will love the songs like Bikini Bottom Boogie, Just a Simple Sponge, and Best Day Ever. We put you guys down to visit us at 7 p.m. Sunday, night show, May 16th. See you very soon. Get ready to giggle and jiggle. Morris Doubleday, Gershwin Theater Manager. Yeah, okay, Gershwin. We'll be right there. Make sure you keep our seats ready. Cold day in hell before I go to a Broadway show. Random Menace is MomOPrey. I'm with you about the Guardians movies. Wow, I'm surprised anybody's with me about the Guardians movies. Dear Bop, I need pointers on how to play Minecraft. I hear it's a cool game now and thought you might be an expert on how to play the game and have done some cheats or shortcuts that I can use to win games against my buddies. I just mastered Animal Crossing, so I think I can take your teachings to become a top-level Minecrafter. Please send tips soon. Thank you, the ultimate guru of Minecraft, the real RXP. I'm pretty sure there's no cheating in Minecraft, so... Also, I don't play Minecraft. I used to play Minecraft, but the only time I ever played Minecraft was on my cell phone, like 8 years ago. So I really have nothing I could tell you about Minecraft. I don't know how it works on the PC. I never set up a Minecraft server. I know Thomas Potts has built some amazing stuff with Minecraft, but that's as far as I've ever really seen of it. Dear Bop, we are alerting our donors and members the bad news. We are not going to broadcast the Golden Globes in 2022 as nobody seems to be tuning in any longer. I know you are probably crushed, and we know what a huge supporter you are of the Golden Globes. We know that you are a dedicated Joel Grey and Betty White fan, so we will be sure to send you news and notes about any awards they receive this season. At any rate, we will miss you on the broadcast next year, but don't fret, fellow thespian. Better days are right around the corner. Chadwick Wiener, Golden Globes membership coordinator. Clearly going to the wrong email address. Chrono says MomOPrey cheats even on uneditable games. JP says Minecraft is poop. And also says new game every time MomOPrey says Minecraft, do a shot. Dear Bop, is Boston cream pie truly a pie or a cake? I'd say it's a cake. Dear Bop, everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Doesn't mean we go around committing hate crimes. Look around and you will find no one's really colorblind. Maybe it's a fact we should all face. Everyone makes judgments based on race. Not a big judgments like who to hire or who to buy a newspaper from. No, just little judgments like thinking that Mexican busboy should learn to speak goddamn English. Right? Everyone's a little bit racist today. So everyone's a little bit racist. Okay. Ethnic jokes may be uncouth, but you laugh because they're based on truth. Don't take them as personal attacks. Everyone enjoys them, so relax. All right, stop me if you've heard this one. Okay. There's a plane going down and there's only one parachute. There's a rabbi, a priest, and a black guy. Gary Coleman, what you talking about, Kate? We're telling a black joke. Well, sure, Gary, but lots of people tell black jokes. I don't. Well, of course you don't. You're black. Well, I bet you tell Polak jokes, right? Well, sure I do. Those stupid Polacks. Now, don't you think that's a little racist? Well, damn, I guess you're right. You're a little bit racist. Well, you're a little bit too. We're all a little bit racist. I think that I would have to agree with you. We're glad you do. It's sad but true. Everyone's a little bit racist. All right. Bigotry has never been exclusively white. If we all could just admit that we're a racist a little bit, even though we all know that it's wrong, maybe it would help us get along. Oh Christ, do I feel good. Now there's a fine, upstanding black man who, Jesus Christ, But Gary, Jesus was white. No, Jesus was black. No, Jesus was white. No, I'm pretty sure Jesus was black. Guys, sorry, Jesus was Jewish. Hey guys, what you laughing about? Racism? Cool. Brain, come here. Come back here. You take out Leslie Kerbers? What's that mean? Recyclables. Hey, don't laugh at her. How many languages do you speak? Oh, come off it, Brian. Everyone's got a little bit racist. Everyone's a little bit racist. I'm not. Oh, no. Nope. How many Oriental wives have you got? What? Brian, buddy, where are you? Where have you been? The term is Asian American. I know you are, no, intending to be, but calling me Oriental is offensive to me. I'm sorry, honey, I love you, and I love you, but you're racist too. Yes, I know the Jews have all the money and the whites have all the power, and I always in a taxi cab with a driver who no shower. Me too, I can't even get a taxi. Everyone's a little bit racist, it's true, but everyone is just about as racist as you. If we could all just admit that we're all racist a little bit, and everyone stop being so PC, maybe we could live in harmony. Everyone's a little bit racist. What the fuck do you have me reading? Springtime's is MomOPrey. You stay strong and long live MomOPrey. Thank you. Springtime, I appreciate it. JP says cream pies are fun. Chrono says it's not what I typed. Random Menace says one guy in Germany played Mein Kampf. Is it similar to Minecraft? Wow. JP says a new game every time MomOPrey says, yeah, do a shot. Brian. Okay, so it was Brian, not Brain. I don't know what the hell that was about. I apologize to the people who left. It's funny. It's funny. It's mostly true. I don't know if that's from somebody's comedy skit or something. I assume it is. But I have no idea whose. Dear Bop, I'm really getting scared. My boyfriend tried to put several tampons up my rectum to prevent me from bleeding out my anus. No. Deleted. Gone. We're done. We're done with the Dear Bops. You guys. No, soft putty is not allowed to put in Dear Bops anymore. You guys know that. JP says, Bird of Prey, it's almost seemed like a song at times. It definitely rhymed. I mean, it was definitely from some type of sketch comedy or skit or song or movie. I mean, it said Brian. I don't know. Is that from the life of Brian? I doubt it, because the life of Brian is like 30, 40 years old. So I really have no idea. I have no idea. Anyway, did you guys have any questions? I've been in this hospital bed now. Well, this hospital bed I've been in for 11 years. I've been in a hospital bed of one sort or another for 12 years. Did you have any questions before I go? Like, honestly, you know how my life is. I use the Gelogia machine when I have to pee. MomOPrey brings me my food, takes away my food. Sassy comes over and visits. I turn on my side. I can pet Sassy. My computer, obviously, Gets me online. For the years before I did YouTube, I was spending the time on my web forum and other web forums. Is there any questions you guys have? What it's like? Do you care? Is there anything I can answer? I mean, I can always answer them, but being it's today's a special day, if anybody has any questions. Positive candor says every effing time. Yes. Chrono says, yay, bed life. We should play bed life. You know what? We'll play bed life before we go today. In fact, let's play bed life. Big thank you to Piano Dean, of course, for bed life. Wait, where's bed life? There it is. Kronos is, what's the meaning of life? I wish I knew. Just someone donated, how do you poop? Very carefully. I turn on my side. Don't worry about the details. Thomas is one question. How could you forget Sassy's birthday? You monster. We were so busy that weekend. JP says, Bird of Prey, honestly, man, how in the hell do you do it? I would be extremely grumpy. You have such a positive outlook. JP's, it's just a matter of coming to the reality that I could be depressed and grumpy, but who would that help? It wouldn't help me, and it wouldn't help MomOPrey. I owe it to MomOPrey to not be depressed and grumpy. MomOPrey has put her life on hold for me. So and MomOPrey says, when I get depressed, she gets depressed, things get worse. So I owe it to MomOPrey to be as happy as I can be, so MomOPrey can be happy, and then it's a circle. Someone donated $1 and says, do you get dingleberries? No, I don't. Darius is Bird of Prey. Want you to be as happy as possible and find joy in what you do. Thank you, Darius. Kronos is Bird of Prey. When will the next Cheer Life show be? I have no idea, Kronos. I have no idea. A lot of things have to go right for me to get outside, especially with the pandemic going on. Darius is lolling. Kronos' Bird of Prey is a life piece of Schmidt. Is life a piece of Schmidt when you think about it?
Yeah.
Life is hard, Kronos. We'll put it that way. Life is hard. So we're going to do bed life, and then I think we're going to end the stream. And then Deej said he was going to stream, so maybe Deej can get his ready and put a link in, and we'll go from there. Oh, let's do some bed life. I'll sing along. Dun, 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 dun. Someone donated $1. Says that last one looked like Zoidberg wiping his butt on your face.
Bed life.
Bed life.
It's a stream by
Bird of Prey. Gained a bunch of subs in April. Lost them in May.
But I
know those numbers are gonna zoom. When I'm on Nerdrotic's channel this June, I said bed life.
And as stupid as it may seem,
some people get their kicks downvote in the stream.
But I won't let it get me down.
Won't let it get me down.
Because this
crazy old bird
keeps sticking around.
I've been a bully, a brawler, a terror, a bum, and a boss with a ring. I've been east and west and north and south, and I've seen a few things. But now I find myself stuck in this bed, so I just hit the remote and raise up my head. Bed life, I tell ya, I won't deny it. I've thought of quitting YouTube, but Caroga say don't even try it. Got to keep refuting those anti-tracker lies and turd-a-standing turds and fake offer lies. I've been a bully, a brawler, a terror, bum, and a boss with a ring. I've been east and west and north and south, and I've seen a few things. But now I find myself stuck in this bed, so I just hit the remote and raise up my head. Bed life, and I can't deny it. Many times I've thought of quitting YouTube, but my Caroga say don't even try it. But if there's no play button by next July, I'm gonna lay myself down on this old bed and cry. Yeah, sing it, sing it. And Deej puts in the link. Good, Deej. I will see you guys there. With that, guys, Qapla all. Thank you for hanging out. And see you at Deej's. Thank you, Piano Dean, for the song. But wait, there is more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your BirdoPrey 5 needs. At the main BirdoPrey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, BirdoPrey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is BirdoPrey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Caroga.